Everyone keeps asking the same question: when will the altcoin season start? We keep saying history repeats, but no one can circle a date on the calendar. Because Altseason isn't a date, it's a wave. It builds quietly, then hits fast, catching almost everyone off guard. Today, let's break down exactly how that wave forms, what really happened in past cycles, and which signals tell us it's coming again. Even if you've never read a chart in your life, by the end of this video, you'll see the pattern as clearly as day. Everything begins with Bitcoin. The halving happens, attention floods in, and big money flows to the safest place, Bitcoin itself. It's deep, it's liquid, and it feels like the only place to hide when uncertainty is high. That's why Altseason never starts while Bitcoin is still climbing aggressively. It begins when Bitcoin slows down, holds strong, and investors start looking elsewhere for higher risk and bigger gains. The money doesn't leave crypto, it simply spreads out. That's the essence of Altseason, a rotation of confidence. There are 3 simple signals that tell you when this rotation is beginning. Don't worry, no fancy charts needed. First, Bitcoin dominance starts falling. Second, Ethereum begins to outperform Bitcoin. And third, new money enters the system. You can literally see stablecoin supply expanding. If all 3 are happening together, you're watching the early stages of an altcoin wave. Dominance just means this: if the entire crypto market is a pie, how big is Bitcoin's slice? When dominance rises, people are hiding in Bitcoin. When it falls, they're spreading out. Altseason lives in that moment of spreading. So when you hear, dominance is rising, why aren't alts moving, relax. It's not their turn yet. But when dominance peaks, start sliding slowly for days or weeks, and the market feels curious rather than fearful, that's your spark. Because smart money doesn't panic sell Bitcoin, it reallocates. And usually, the first stop is Ethereum. That brings us to signal 2, ETH versus BTC. When Ethereum starts gaining strength against Bitcoin, it means the crowd's confidence is shifting. People are saying, okay, I can take a bit more risk. This ratio doesn't lie. When ETH/BTC is trending up, the market is warming up. And when that happens at the same time stablecoin supply is growing, things can escalate quickly. Stablecoins are the real fuel. Forget charts for a second, just ask this: are there more stablecoins in circulation this month than last month? If yes, money is flowing in. In every true Altseason, stablecoin supply rose sharply. You can even feel it without looking at data. Trading volumes spike, gas fees rise, new accounts pop up, and crypto Twitter starts talking about 10 different coins at once. These are not coincidences, they're liquidity signals. Now here's the truth that few people accept: Altseason doesn't explode overnight. It comes in layers. The first layer is the majors: ETH, SOL, BNB, AVAX. The second layer is narrative coins, AI, gaming, real-world assets, res-taking, and so on. The third layer is the tiny caps, the lottery zone. If the small coins move before the big ones, it's not a real Altseason, it's a pump. The real rotation always begins from the top. First comes confidence, then speed, then chaos. That's the order. So how can you spot it in real time? Keep it simple. When Bitcoin hits new highs but stops running vertically, that's good. It means strength, not exhaustion. When ETH/BTC begins inching upward, even a little, that's better. If at the same time Solana or other ecosystems show rising activity, NFT volume ticks up, gas fees spike, and stablecoin supply expands, congratulations, you're at the start of something big. No magic indicators needed. Just these small, overlapping clues. But what about bad news, you might ask? Rates are high, the economy looks weak. True, and that's why Altseason doesn't come early. When macro conditions are harsh, investors stay in Bitcoin. But remember, markets move by emotion. People want safety first, opportunity second. When the Fed starts hinting at cuts, when the dollar weakens, when stocks calm down, that's when liquidity softens and flows downward. The key is not the news itself, but how the market feels about it. If fear fades, rotation begins. Let's visualize 2 typical scenes from the past. Scene 1. Bitcoin pumps hard. Everyone yells, only Bitcoin matters. All coins stay flat. Then Bitcoin cools down, holding its level. Meanwhile, ETH/BTC rises quietly. People start whispering, is Ethereum next? Soon after, large cap alts ignite Solana, BNB, AVAX. As that rally matures, new narratives like AI, gaming, or risk-taking catch fire. That's the start of a real alt season. Scene 2. Bitcoin dumps hard, alts dump harder, and fear dominates. That's not rotation, that's capitulation. The difference is mood. Real alt season happens when optimism rises, but fear is gone. Now let's talk about ETFs, the new wildcard. Bitcoin ETFs brought massive capital inflows, but almost all of it parked in Bitcoin first. That can delay alt season, but not prevent it. Once confidence builds, some of that institutional money trickles down into other assets, usually starting with Ethereum. So when Ethereum's ETF progress accelerates, watch that ETH/BTC chart closely. It becomes the heartbeat of the next phase. Here's where most people mess up. They see one green day and scream alt season. But true alt seasons unfold in waves that last weeks or months. They don't rely on one headline. You'll see rotation between sectors, one theme catching fire after another: AI, gaming, RWA, storage, risk-taking. Each wave builds on the last. So don't chase, observe the rhythm. If you want a simple daily checklist, here it is. Every morning, ask yourself 5 questions. Is Bitcoin stable near its highs? Is ETH/BTC trending up? Is stablecoin supply growing week over week? Are total exchange volumes rising? And are people on social media discussing multiple sectors at once? If you can say yes to most of these, you're watching a real shift. That's when preparation pays off. The goal isn't to predict the top or bottom, it's to recognize the transition early. But there's one danger: the moment everyone feels like a genius. Real alt-season euphoria is loud, fast, and dangerous. You'll see overnight pumps, fake volume, and projects that promise absurd yields. That's when discipline matters most. Choose your groups, majors, narratives, or microcaps. Define your take profit and your exit. Don't fall in love with coins. Fall in love with your plan. Because the same wind that lifts your sails can flip your boat if you're careless. There's also the emotional rhythm. Early on, doubt is everywhere. Nah, this isn't real. That's actually bullish. In the middle, excitement rises. This time is different. That's your caution flag. At the end, everyone becomes an expert, and that's the danger zone. Remember, when confidence peaks, opportunity fades. When doubt returns, new opportunity begins. The market isn't about timing perfection. It's about emotional awareness. So, the big question, when exactly? I won't pretend to know the date. But here's the pattern that never fails. When Bitcoin dominance tops out and begins trending down, when ETH/BTC strengthens for weeks, and when stablecoin supply starts climbing again, that's your triple confirmation. Add 2 small signs: Bitcoin inflows and outflows stabilize, meaning no panic. And gas fees occasionally spike, meaning real on-chain activity. When all 5 align, that's your green light. So what should you do now? Simple: prepare. Make your shortlist. Which narratives make sense? Which coins have real volume and reasonable tokenomics? Check unlock schedules. Avoid heavy supply events. Then follow one rule: dominance falling, ETH/BTC rising, stablecoin supply growing. When that condition holds, increase exposure. When it doesn't, stay patient. Waiting is also a position. You don't need to be a chart expert. Just track the story. Watch where the conversation moves from Bitcoin ETFs to Ethereum ETFs to L2 volume to AI, RWA, gaming. The narrative always tells you where liquidity will go next. Story drives attention, attention drives flow, and flow drives price. Learn to hear the story early, and price will eventually follow. Let's finish with a simple truth. Markets aren't perfect, but they are rhythmic. Having isn't magic, it's rhythm. It pulls attention, builds trust, and resets the stage. Bitcoin starts the song, but alt-season brings the chorus. It may come late, but it always comes. Your job isn't to force it, it's to recognize when the clouds are breaking. When dominance falls, ETH/BTC rises, stablecoin supply expands, and curiosity replaces fear, the door is open. So remember this one line: Altseason is not a date. It's the moment dominance drops, ETH strengthens, and new dollars enter. When those three forces align, the market doesn't hold its breath, it exhales. Big caps move first, narratives follow, and small caps sprint last. Be ready for it, but move with a plan. Real profit doesn't come from guessing the wave, it comes from riding it with control. And as always, this is not financial advice. We analyze data, not dreams. You make your own decisions. But now you know how to recognize the rhythm, and when the market whispers that the season is near, you'll understand what it's saying.